Hi, everyone at home. I'm Chris, and this is Sam. We're from KPMG UK. We're both part of the Atlassian squad in CloudOps engineering at KPMG UK. We hope you like this demo. It's about 5 to 10 minutes. This demo presents our Jira automation plans and how Jira automation is enabling our vision in the team. So let's jump straight into it. So to get started, let's have a quick chat about the old ways in our team. I used to be part of an engineering team a couple of years ago that was responsible for many shared services. So just to name a few, I'm sure you're all used to these: Jenkins, HashiCorp Vault, Datadog, and a few others. And actually part of that suite was Jira and Confluence Data Center. We used to spend a lot of time maintaining the infrastructure of these services. And eventually that engineering team expanded into more of a platform team, which had a vision to enable engineer and developer flow. What that means is our engineers and developers can get started fast. We provide them golden path solutions for project kickoffs, that's pipelines, monitoring, and we want these tools to be self-service. That means that developers and engineers can get started doing what they want to be doing rather than sitting around waiting for the admin team to help them set up their services. So this was really important to us, but we wanted to create these self-service tools without simply making everyone an admin, because that just leads to problems. So to cut things short, we realized we were spending too much time on infrastructure and not enough time working towards our vision. So we decided to look for ways to spend less time managing that stuff and more time automating stuff. Now, to us, it became quickly apparent that a migration to Atlassian Cloud would really help us, enable the work we want to be doing. There were other reasons to migrate too. We needed a single sign-on solution. Our infrastructure costs were high. And also there was a huge amount of contextual knowledge inside our team that was required just to do simple infrastructure tasks, maintenance related to Jira and Confluence. And that was a huge problem. We were spending a lot of time just updating Jira and Confluence and not spending our time working towards our vision. Now, most importantly, we identified Jira automation as a key feature in enabling our vision. It would allow us to automate a lot of these tasks. And at the time, Jira automation was exclusive to Atlassian Cloud. So that was another reason for us to migrate. So we migrated. So last year, over the course of 2022, we went through the whole journey of migrating. We worked closely with Atlassian to work through the migration phases. And it was a smooth transition for the most part. It did take us a lot of testing. We must have launched about 30 migration test instances across the course of the year. But by September 2022 and going into October, we'd migrated and things did go smoothly. We spent the end of last year just settling into the new site and getting our users used to that transition and the new way that things look. But now this year, we've entered our next phase. So what is that next phase? Automate everything within reason. We want our engineers to get started on work fast. We want to enable our engineers and enable flow so that when a new project comes up, they're not sitting around waiting for these resources to be created. They can get straight on with what they want to be doing. Like I said, that's our vision. On the flip side, we've got a support team who are currently having to spend a lot of time doing these manual tasks, creating these services. What that means is they're clicking buttons, they're spending 1 hour, 2 hours creating a Jira project, a space, a GitHub repository, let's say, and maybe some AWS resources. And that takes time. And that time could be spent elsewhere, upskilling those admin members and actually, getting these projects going immediately. So that's our vision. That's our goal. Now, one of the key tools in that vision is Jira automation. So let's quickly touch on what is Jira automation. So for those of you that aren't aware, Jira automation is a feature native to Jira. In concept, it's when this happens inside of Jira, if it meets this condition, then do this. And that's as simple as it is. It's code-free, it's a simple interface, and it's easy to understand and get started. So this is great for our users. Our users can use this to update fields, send emails to users, create issues all automatically. But more importantly, we can use this as admins to generate webhooks, which can trigger external automation. So this is what we're doing. We're using Jira automation to enable new project creation and so much more in the future. So this is a common request. We have a project team come to us, say, hey, we have a new project. Can we get this, this, and this? Maybe they need a new Jira project, a Confluence space. But let's say a GitHub repository, AWS resources, maybe a Miro board, a new Datadog organization. Like I said, that's all manual time that our admins have to spend creating these things, which breaks the flow. So how can we automate this process? It all starts in Jira Service Management with a simple form. So let me pass over to Sam. Sam, do you want to show us how it works?
Sure thing, Chris.
Over to you.
So, as Chris mentioned, we identified that we can use Jira Service Management as a very nice, clean, easy input for automation. And so the way that we are using it initially is for making new services, new projects and space and as such. And so I shall demonstrate now what that would look like. So a user would come onto JSM, find the form and start filling it out. And so we can set the approver, project name, I'm just going to call it Atlassian for the moment. Let's call the key ATL, so we can have that, all be user picked. We shall make my colleague the project lead.
Thank you. I will lead this project.
Let's make it Kanban and let's create a Confluence space. Always love some documentation. So we submit the form there and it needs approval. So there we go. I shall hit the approval button. In normal circumstances, this will be done by someone else, but for
that was easy.
Yeah, very easy. Love it when you can approve your own stuff. So that has now been approved. And what that will do is in the workflow, it will move it from approval needed to automation open. And we can see here, this will trigger the first of our two automations. And it just looks for that transition first. This one will eventually then send a web request to an AWS API gateway that we have set up somewhere. And here we are. So we can see here, Jira Service Management, the form is submitted, triggers the Jira automation. That will then hit the API gateway, and then the API gateway is used to trigger some AWS lambdas. And you can see here we have create project, create space, and then create an assigned group. So they really simply just use Python and Jira and Confluence's APIs to just go and make those resources. The last of the three lambdas, the groups one, will actually then send another webhook back to Jira Automation, which we can see here. So using automation again, we have a URL generated by Atlassian, and then that simply closes off the ticket. So that will update it in JSM saying, yeah, hey, this is done. You feel free to go use your projects now. And so if I come over to my projects list here, I can see right at the top, we have Atlassian. I can go project settings and then people. And there we go. We have three groups, ATL admins, dev, and users, and they are assigned at the relevant permissions, admin, dev, and user. And we can demonstrate the same with the Confluence space. There we go, Atlassian again. Space settings, space permissions, and lo and behold, there they are. Three groups assigned and ready to go. And then just to prove that there's no smoke and mirrors, here we are. Three groups, brand new, and we'll go into ATL dev. And we can see it's already assigned the project lead, ready to go, very quick. So it's taken what could be a 2-hour process, whistled it down to about 30 seconds.
That was easy.
Easy peasy. Back to you, Chris.
Thanks, Sam. I will enjoy my new project. Thank you. So just jumping back into the presentation, I just want to conclude with a few final points. So what's important here is we're taking that long process, which is handled by our admin team, and cutting that down from, like Sam said, 1 hour, maybe 2 hours, depending on the experience of that admin support member, down to just 1 minute. What that means is that's a standardized project creation, which creates everything in a standardized templated way. So there's no mistakes in, maybe one support engineer can make something slightly differently. No, it's all created exactly the same way. So there's no human error, no room for, oops, I accidentally deleted this. And it means that our developers and engineers can get started quickly, which is exactly our vision. That's how we want to leverage Jira automation to make our lives and our developers' lives as easy as possible. But this is just the beginning. So, there's still so much more to do. There's new resources that we can add to this process. Like I said, maybe they need a GitHub repository too, AWS resources, a monitoring solution. And even this process itself, we can expand on by adding users to the project. At the minute, it just adds the project lead. And then there's so much more we can do with automation too. We want to automate user management, user cleanups, license count alarms. So our license count is getting too close to the limit. Let's do an automated cleanup. These are all the things that we really are excited about and we want to do. So we hope you all found that interesting. It was great presenting it to you. I'm sorry you couldn't make it here today. It would have been great to meet you all. So thanks for your time. And if you have any feedback or questions, get in touch with us at KPMG UK. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.